It's only the people that hasn't tried or the people that hasn't built anything big for themselves would laugh at others for trying.
It's very important for you to be content with you and not judge your self-worth, your self-value on what the culture is saying, what is popular at the time. And so
It's because a lot of these negative self-talk lowers someone's confidence.
yes.
So
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel, Better Together. I am here with my very best friend Anna.
And I'm here with my beautiful best friend Sabrina. How are you today, babe?
I am wonderful because when I'm with you, we are better together. Babe,
yeah.
what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to be talking about the implications of negative self-talk. And can you tell me a little bit about what does that look like?
Negative self-talk. Well, that is being highly critical of oneself. That is constantly putting down oneself, believing that one is not able to achieve anything beyond what one currently has. That is just putting the dagger to one's heart. The kindness that we show to other people, we do not reserve that kindness to ourselves. Sometimes we are very kind to our friends when they're going through hardships. We encourage them. We tell them it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. Life will turn out fine for you. You're not the bad person. You're not the villain. But when it comes to ourselves, when we're in our secret room, we tell ourselves, you're the villain. You're the evil one. It's because of you everything went bad in your life. Nothing good will happen for you. Your life sucked because of you, which might be the case that your life sucked because of you. But you never believe that you can do anything to overcome it. You never believe that you can change your life. That power eludes you.
We're not kind towards
We're
ourselves.
not kind to ourselves. So that's what negative self-talk look like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will share a little story, a personal story actually. When I was in high school, I used to be a very insecure girl, and I noticed that I was projecting all of this insecurity, and I was having a negative internal dialogue and maybe telling myself that I wasn't worth it of having a lot of friends or to be loud or to be seen by other people. So I was always walking around with my head down, not feeling pretty enough, not feeling
You're
funny.
so pretty.
No, I wasn't. But yeah, like sometimes we see ourselves with different eyes, and we are, I truly believe that we are our worst judge and critic. And sometimes all of these situations goes to negative self-talk when we are in solitude, and that lowers our self-esteem. That's what was happening to me in high school. And one day I said to myself like, hey, no more. And I started changing my internal dialogue and being more positive and loving towards myself and looking myself with a different light and more love. And another friend, she also was going through this situation with me, and she noticed that, hey, you have changed. What did you do? Like, how did you become so confident? How did you reach this point? Like, what did it happen? And then from high school, I noticed, and I told her like, hey, it's all about the energy that you put out there, but all of that comes from within. Like, you need to love yourself first, and then you will be able to present as a loving person towards yourself, and people around you will catch on.
Recognize that.
Yeah, and they will be kind to you and respect you. Because if you walk with a low head and just letting everyone around you walk all over you, like, what kind of energy are you projecting with when you walk with a low head?
That's really eye-opening, that what you put out there, even if you're in secret, being negative to yourself, you can put that outward in public.
Yeah.
And I just want to ask, why do you think you had what kind of a negative thoughts were going through your mind at that time? Like, what was telling you that you weren't good enough? What part of it? Where was that coming from?
My puberty hit me hard, and during that time I had a lot of acne, and I didn't love my curly hair. I hated what I was seeing in the mirror. And that translates inside, you know, like you don't love yourself. And even what you just said is so important. Like, hey, even though that you're talking negatively to yourself in private, that is the energy that you're walking around with.
Yeah.
So people catch in that energy, like they notice, even though that you're going through all of these situations, and even though that I was going through all of these situations with my physical appearance. And I also understand that during puberty all the hormones are released and you just feel crazy some days.
It's a big change.
It's a big change. So for me, it happened during that time, and I felt unworthy of attention of other people or even friends, and like just unworthy of being heard and speak out. So yeah,
I want to touch on the part where you said you didn't like your hair, because I do believe that we can internalize the comments, the feedback from our culture, from our communities, and if we don't match up to the standards that the culture says is acceptable, then you can internalize that and become negative. Because in that time, I know we've had the talk before, and everyone in that time was straightening their hair in Colombia, and that takes me back to Jamaica when I was a young adult, still a young adult. But I remember when I was living in Jamaica, just turning like 19, and everyone had very curvy bodies, and that was the thing. That was the thing. Like guys like girl with bigger booties and thicker thighs, and bigger girls.
Yeah.
And I remember hating my body when I was in Jamaica, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm so skinny. I'm not. Yeah, I don't match up to the beauty standards in Jamaica. And looking back at that, I realized me not feeling good about my body was not something that I genuinely believe, but it was more based on the culture at the time that I adapted to, like, think, oh, I need to look like how the women in Jamaica typically look, with big booty, thick thighs, and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't have that. And after leaving Jamaica and going into solitude a little bit, leaving my culture, and I love my culture, but after traveling around and stuff, I realized actually I like my body.
When you go out and you see different kinds of beauty, you open your horizons.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and I love what I saw in the mirror, and so I do believe that we can develop negative self-talk by our culture, by our peers. So it is very important to mind the friends you have, be mindful of the culture at the time, because sometimes culture changes.
And what has been pushed in the media at that time, because we're seeing that a lot now.
Yes. And so it is very important for you to be content with you. And not judge your self-worth, your self-value on what the culture is saying, what is popular at the time. And so I think that is one of the things, as I grew older and got more comfortable in my body, in my skin, in who I am, in my values, that I no longer strive to meet the beauty standard, to match up to the values or opinions of others, So I am very confident in who I am, in my values, because now I found worth in me and who God says that I am. What are some of the dangers of negative self-talk?
Some of the dangers are self-sabotage, for example, because sometimes we are presented with an opportunity, but if we don't feel that we are deserving of it, we will let that opportunity go, and we won't even try to go for it, because it's like, oh, maybe I'm not smart enough. If it's an opportunity about a job or to get into a college or somewhere, sometimes we are the ones that are cutting our own wings, our own path to move forward. Sometimes we are our biggest stumbling block and in our way. So don't limit yourself just because you think that you're not worth it or deserving of that opportunity. Just go for it, and if you don't get it, then learn what were you missing and how can you improve. How can you improve and try next time. don't be the one that cuts your opportunities.
Yeah, and that also, when you talk about self-sabotage, I also think about someone who is highly critical of themselves, how they sometimes ruin relationships.
Yeah.
Again, going back to not feeling like they're good enough or good enough for the partner they have. They find
Yeah.
a man that treats them well. And I'm speaking to women because I know I've lived the experience of a woman,
Yeah.
and they're with a partner and they think, you know what, this man is so good to me. He treats me well, but I am not good enough, and you start to nitpick at the small things he does,
Yes.
to find problems, to find what can I fight about, you know? Especially like you're coming out of a toxic or unhealthy relationship, and then you finally get into a good relationship. It starts to,
strange.
yeah, it's a strange feeling, and you start to find things to argue about, even things that are not worthy of a fight.
Yeah.
And so you ruin relationships when you are so critical of yourself.
And this is in a relationship, but also with friendships. You distance yourself because you can't see past your own insecurities.
You think you're always the problem.
Yeah, and maybe you isolate yourself.
Yes.
And sometimes when you come with this energy and you're always so defensive, you will create a reaction in the people around you, and maybe that person that is next to you doesn't even want to fight. But if you're always in this energy and always so like ready to fight,
Yeah.
you're gonna make that person, even if that person is very kind, you're gonna make that person fight with you if you're bringing that to the table. So be mindful about the energy that you put out there.
And also, another impact of negative self-talk is the victimhood. You believe that the world is against you because everyone hates me, you know, because and maybe no one hates you, but because of the internal dialogue, it is so negative. You find what you look for. I think we've said that many times on this channel. So I implore you to just give yourself some grace, the same level of kindness you would give to a friend.
Yes.
Give that to yourself, you know what I mean? And so for someone, Anna, that is struggling with negative internal dialogue and they're trying to overcome that, what are some of the ways they can overcome that?
One of the ways is try to look for the beauty around you and in the world. And maybe you're going through something specifically, like you can find a story of someone that you can relate to and see how they overcame that situation and get inspired by it. We have been talking about being inspired by others. So find someone that went through your own situation and learn what was that they did. And once you see that someone that was in your situation overcome that, then you will realize like, hey, I can do that too. You know?
And also focus on gratitude.
Oh yeah.
Like, things could always be worse.
Yeah.
If you feel like your life is bad, there is always someone worse than you.
Yeah.
So focus on the things that you do have in your life and just be grateful that your life isn't worse than what it is.
Yeah.
Focus on the things that are good in your life. Read self-help books.
Yeah.
When I was in my teenage years, I read a lot of those books to be motivated. And motivation, I must say, comes from doing. Because you can read 1,000 books and nothing happens. But the moment you start to do little actions, set realistic expectation in your life. So, for example, you want to start working out. Maybe you can do 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes.
Set realistic
Expectations.
goals and expectations. Don't go for big impossible goals when you're just starting.
Because if you go for the big goals and then you fail at it, you're going to say to yourself, you see, I am bad at everything. And that's just making more for making way for more negative self-talk. So start small and build up on the things that you can do. It might not be the gym. It might be that you're looking to be consistent in your life. Set 5 minutes of consistency. Do something consistently that you're trying to improve in your life for 5 minutes and build on that.
And I think that when you start with a small goal and you achieve it, you celebrate those small wins. You know, that will build confidence, because a lot of these negative self-talk lowers someone's confidence.
Yes.
So celebrate your small wins, you know, celebrate them, share them, be proud of the little things that you're doing, you know. it's not, you don't need to do something big or do 1 hour of exercise or draw the Mona Lisa just exactly the same as Da Vinci, but just celebrate the small wins when you have the opportunity to. Another thing that someone can do is go to therapy. I've gone to therapy before. I do believe that therapy helps you to navigate your internal talk, and they help you ask the right questions to find, hey, what is wrong with me, how can I change. But one thing we were talking about therapy is that maybe they can tell you what is wrong, but if you're not ready to listen and if you're not ready to take action, it won't work. So be mindful about that. Therapy does work if you take action, if you're ready to listen and hear about the things that you're doing wrong.
You'd mentioned about asking questions. One of the questions I would challenge you if you're struggling with negative self-talk is, why not you? Why not me?
To be the winner.
Yeah, I often ask that question whenever I think like something is impossible for me, like I can't attain a goal and I see other people attain it. I don't look with jealousy. I look like with inspiration, like, wow, she was able to attain that. I just look to myself, if that's something I've aspired to in my life, why not me? And some of those goals I have not achieved yet. But why not me? If I am consistent, if I keep doing the work, if I keep putting in the efforts to achieve the things that I desire, why not me? So I challenge you, ask yourself, why not me? Like, what is so wrong with you? Nothing
is impossible in this life.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that you can find someone that you can relate to that achieved something that you want. I will also touch about the fact that, hey, don't get discouraged about trying something new or something that you've never tried before just because you feel insecure or because you think that people around you will laugh at you, because only the people that hasn't tried or the people that hasn't built anything big for themselves will laugh at others for trying. And even if it looks impossible, believe me that if you have a mentor or if you have someone you look up to and you share your dream with that person will never laugh at you for having that big dream, you know, because those successful people, they started somewhere
small.
They started small. They know how hard it is to build something from
the ground
zero.
up.
Yeah.
So someone may be thinking about, I want to start something new. I want to challenge myself. I want to start a business. I want to do something. But my family, my friends, they may laugh at me.
Yeah.
They may judge me. They may think, ha ha ha, so stupid. Maybe you want to quit your job and start something new, and someone is going to laugh at you. But like Anna said, someone that is successful
won't
built
laugh.
from the ground up, they won't laugh at you
Because they know.
Yeah.
And don't feel insecure. Don't lower your self. Don't diminish your opportunities just out of fear
of what others will say.
Yeah.
And the moment you're thinking also like something is wrong with me, something is also wrong with her. Something is wrong with me.
Yeah.
Because we're all flawed.
Yeah, we're not
No one
perfect.
is perfect. No, not one. The only perfect person is Jesus, God. No one is perfect. So just remember that. So when you're criticizing yourself, have some grace.
Yeah.
So when you're tempted to say, I am unworthy, remember that everyone was unworthy. We're all just trying to do our best.
Yeah.
We're all just trying to do our best. And the most successful person you see out there, you know it there, they're also flawed.
They also have insecurity.
Yeah, you cut out the negative self-talk. You are worthy. You are awesome. You are beautiful.
Celebrate
you are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yeah, you celebrate your small wins and be proud of it. Start loving yourself. It's not easy, but hey, start small and here we are to celebrate you.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And if you've made it this far, you are part of the Better Together gang, and you are going to be better. We're going to be better together.
Yes,
That's why we need you to like, comment, share, be a part of the conversation. And if we said something that was controversial, or comment below.
Or that something that resonated with you.
Comment below. Be a part of the conversation. We're all here just trying to grow, trying to get better together.
Yeah.
And we want to hear what you have to say.
Yes. See you in the next one. Thank you for being here.
Until next time. Bye.